Grab yourself a cup of tea because we are about to speak about the most exciting thriller books coming out in the last quarter of 2025. Hello, my friend. How are you? Welcome back to my YouTube channel where we talk about all things thriller books. My name is Michaela. I said that wrong. Keeping you on your toes. Today is one of my favorite videos to film. I have filmed this video throughout the whole year, and I am going to speak to you about some of the most exciting thriller books that are coming out in the final quarter of 2025. Thriller books I literally cannot wait to read, and more than likely I'm going to pre-order. A massive thank you for taking the time to click on this video. These videos are always long, so I'm just going to shut up and get straight into it. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get straight into it. The first book I want to speak to you about is a Kindle Unlimited thriller, and it's called The Tapes by Kerry Wilkinson. Now, something about me is I love a Kindle Unlimited thriller. They're like my guilty pleasure. They are typically like more popcorn thrillers, but sometimes that's exactly what you need. In this book, we meet our main character called Eve, who one day is sorting out the attic at her father's house, and like she's feeling all the nostalgia, do you know what I mean, going through her parents' belongings, when she finds a tape that has her name written on it, but it's in her mother's handwriting. But there's one problem. Her mother went missing 10 years ago, and when Eve starts listening to the tape, it's her mother's voice, and she says, "If you're listening to this, I have been murdered." That sounds good, doesn't it? That sounds good. I think as well with like Kindle Unlimited thrillers, I'm like more likely to like try them out because I do keep my Kindle Unlimited membership every single month. Do I make use of it 100%? Probably not. I do probably only read like one Kindle Unlimited thriller a month, but I just like having that option, you know? And like I'm always willing to give books a try that are on Kindle Unlimited. So I think this is one I'm going to be picking up. The next book is The Final Vow by M.W. Craven. Now this is book 7 in the Washington Post series. If you've been watching any of my videos lately, you will know that this is a series that I have just got into. I've only read book 1 and I loved it. It was in my top 10 books of the year. I absolutely love the cover of this. Like the cover has like piqued my interest straight away. I think if I seen this in a bookstore and I had no idea what it was, I would be intrigued. So like I said, this is book 7. I've only read book 1, but essentially we're following 2 police detectives. One is a police detective. His name is Washington Poe. That's a bougie name, isn't it? And his sidekick, who is called Tilly, and she's an analyst for the National Crime Agency. And they're like a little duo that work together to solve crimes. You can read each one as a standalone, but like I hate doing that. Do you know what I mean? I am going to work my way up to book 7, definitely. There's probably going to be like 10 books out there by the time I get round to it. And they're all set in the Lake District, which is like so cute. I love the Lake District. It's one of my favourite places. It's where my fiance is from, and we're actually going camping there next weekend. So that's exciting. Okay, book 3 is called The Lucky Winners by K.L. Slater, and this is coming out on the 14th of August. And something about me is I am obsessed with like house hunting, bougie houses, like glass houses, that kind of thing. And in this, we are following a couple who have just won their dream house. Do you know those like raffles that you see on like Facebook where like you can like buy a ticket for £1 and you can win like a house that's worth 5 million? Yeah, they've just won one of those. Oh my God, this is another one that's set in the Lake District. What the hell? I haven't done that on purpose, I promise. Like, what? That's crazy. But yeah, they've just won this big house in the Lake District that's got like those floor to ceiling glass windows when they think that somebody might be watching them through those windows. This is another one where I really like the cover. I really like the colours of this. Like, yeah, love it. I am going to speak about a couple of Freida McFaddens, all right? We all know by now how I feel about Freida McFadden, but I know a couple of you love her. So, like, I am going to include her. But I think this one, The Surrogate Mother, is actually a reprint. I think this was indie published first, and I think this might be a reprint. Our main character, Abby, is desperate for a baby. She wants nothing more than to be a mum, but she has just struggled with infertility for so long, until one day she meets a woman that offers to be her surrogate. But of course, it's a thriller book, so the woman carrying the baby isn't who she says she is, and she has a very dark secret, as she is carrying Abby's baby. That actually sounds quite good. I do think Freida McFadden, she can save you from a slump, you know. Like, I'm not writing it off. I may read this Don't unsubscribe. I love you. Adele Parks is a British author that I don't know if she is big in America. I'm not sure. But she is quite a big UK author, and her next book is called Our Beautiful Mess, and it's coming out on the 28th of August. She typically writes like domestic thrillers, you know, like where is the husband who he says he is, like family orientated. And I don't typically love those. I have found myself going off them a little bit, but Adele Parks, she's a solid author for me. What was the book I read that I absolutely loved? Pause, please. First Wife Shadow. I read that a few months ago and I thought it was absolutely incredible. I gave it 4.5 stars. This follows a mum whose daughters have all grown up, except they're all coming home for a family holiday, and she can't wait to have her daughters all back under one roof. But one of her daughters is called Fran, and she's bringing home her boyfriend for the first time. And as soon as Connie sees him, she gets bad vibes. She's like, I don't like you, straight away. And then Fran says she's pregnant. And Connie has a meltdown. She has a meltdown. She thinks this guy is hiding something. Is he, or is she just like a dramatic mother-in-law? I always think Adele Parks' premises seem quite straightforward, quite simple. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not like calling you immediately, is it? But I think she's a fantastic writer and a fantastic storyteller. I do have an art copy of this, so I will 100% be reading this one. Also, I do just want to say, like, all the dates that I'm putting on the screen are the UK release dates. I know that sometimes they're different overseas. I'm so sorry. But it's easy. The easiest way for me is to put the UK release dates on there. So if they're wrong for you, I'm really sorry. Why can't they just release all books at the same time? It would make life a lot easier, wouldn't it? The next book is Picture Imperfect by Jacqueline Wilson. Now, Jacqueline Wilson was the author of my childhood. I grew up on her books. Like, I love her. She is mother to me. I think what she's doing is actually really clever because she is taking the stories that we all read as children and doing sequels of them as they are now adults. And I just think that's so clever. Like, she's tapping in on the same audience that she had, like, when I was a child and getting us to read her books as an adult. Marketing genius. So this is following the characters from The Illustrated Mum, which is actually a really traumatic book. Jacqueline Wilson's books like gave me trauma as a child. Like they dealt with such heavy subjects. And yeah, this one, I remember it being so dark. And I was like 10 reading this book. Anyway, we are now following the characters from that book as they are adults to see what happened in their lives. And I'm really excited. It's just like a bit of like a full circle nostalgia moment, you know? So not a thriller. Sorry, should have said. Obviously not a thriller. I came out of the womb reading thriller books. On the 28th of August, Adam Kay is coming out with a book called A Particular Nasty Case. Now, Adam Kay is quite a big author in the UK, but he's always written non-fiction because he is a doctor that was working in like hospitals in the UK, and he would write really funny non-fiction books about like his time working as a doctor. I've never read any of them, but I have heard that they're really good. I think like it's called like This Is Going to Hurt. There's a couple, but this is his first fiction book. And it's a mystery thriller, which is really exciting, but still themed around a hospital. So a toxic doctor, like a nasty doctor in the hospital, has fallen dead. But one of the other doctors thinks somebody murdered him. Nobody else, including the police, the coroner, believe him, and they all think he's like losing his marbles. So is he about to risk his whole career clinging on to the fact that this doctor that nobody really liked anyway was murdered, or is there a killer stalking the hospital wards? I'm actually really excited for this one. I feel like a hospital is going to be like a cool setting and then like following a doctor. Yeah. Excited. I've read a couple of books by Stacey Willingham and I've really enjoyed them. Her next book is also coming out on the 28th of August and it's called Forget Me Not. This follows a girl called Claire who works in New York City and she is a journalist, and her sister went missing 22 years ago and her body was never found and they never found out what happened to her. She's had enough of New York, she's burnt out, so she's going back to her hometown where she gets a job on a farm with some dodgy people and may find out what happened to her sister. Something about Stacey Willingham's writing is I love it. Like, I think it's quite like, it's not flowery. They're not popcorn thrillers. Like, I feel like they're thriller books with depth. Do you know when you just like want something a bit more? Like, you don't want a popcorn thriller. You're not on Karen Slaughter's level, but you just want something like in between. I feel like Stacey Willingham is a solid author for that. Okay, they are all the ones that I am excited for in August. Now we're going to get into September, and the first one is The Killer Question by Janice Hallett. This book couldn't be more British if it tried, I fear, because it's set in a British pub. Something about like us Brits, we love a pub quiz. America friends, Canada friends, tell me, do you have like quiz nights at your local pub? Like where you all go and drink like pints of lager and answer like cheesy trivia questions? Tell me. So the landlords of this pub, both of them, have gone missing. The windows are boarded up and nobody knows what happened. But in the days prior, a lot of strange things were going on there, such as a couple of newbies in the pub who claimed they were being led there by their spirit guide, a new team on the pub quiz who win, and everybody's like, they've cheated, but how have they cheated? A murdered man is pulled from the canal. A lot has been going on. And how are those all connected to the missing pub landlords? Janice Hallett writes in mixed media, so all of her books are told entirely through mixed media. She is just such a fantastic author, and I feel like this is going to be her best one yet. I've actually said that we're going to have this as like our in-person book club for October, because I just feel like it'll be really fun and something a bit different, you know? My favourite author is coming out with her next book, Rachel Harrison. Play Nice. You know I've already got this pre-ordered, right? I've literally got it pre-ordered. But saying that, I was lucky enough to get a NetGalley arc of it, so I am going to be reading it in August, but I've still got the paperback copy pre-ordered, you know, because I just know I'm going to need a trophy copy. I know I'm going to love this book. God, can you imagine if I don't now and I have to like crawl back on here being like, I was wrong. It's not going to happen. We're not putting those bad juju vibes out there. So in Play Nice, we're going to meet our main character, Cleo, who is a influencer. She's an interior designer, but there's a catch. She grew up in a haunted house, although her and her brothers and sisters say that never happened, but the mum is insistent that their house was haunted. She even wrote a book all about it. Cleo has just inherited this house, and as she's an interior designer, her plan is she's going to redesign it and then flip it and sell it. But she is about to confront the demons of her childhood and find out if that house was really haunted or not. Something about Rachel Harrison is she just writes female characters. She writes female sisterhood, friendship. Like, I just feel like she gets girlhood. I've seen a couple of my friends review this already and they've been giving it glowing reviews. So I'm so excited. The premise does sound quite similar to Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, but I know that there's going to be that like Rachel Harrison twist on it that will just make it unique. Put your hands up if you are sick of hearing me talk about Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson. Well, fear not, Delilah S. Dawson has a new book coming out in September and it's called House of Idyll. And I'm hoping this is going to be my new obsession because it sounds right up my street. So House of Idyll is going to follow our main character who is called Angelica, and she is a singer-songwriter who is offered the chance to go to a retreat that is sponsored by her favourite rock band. There she will be able to like focus on her music, get help from like industry professionals, but when she gets there, it seems a bit suspicious. Like, is it too good to be true? Because she starts to think that maybe more than money is powering this cult. Sorry, did you say cult? Cult was mentioned. Oh my God. Something about me. I love a cult. Guys, I say the word cult and I will buy your book. I want to say that most of Delilah S. Dawson's books are like that optimum page length, like 200 to 250 pages. I'm not sure if this is. I think it might be. Because I'm sure I've seen like people with like art copies of it and it seems quite small. And they're just like, they pack a punch. They pack a punch. I'm ready for this to be my new obsession. I don't think you guys are. 7 Reasons to Murder Your Dinner Guest by KJ Whittle. It's coming out on the 11th of September. I actually met the author at Harrogate and she gave me a copy of this book. And I said thank you so much. Like, I had a little chat with her and then I read the blurb. I can't tell you how excited I am for this book. Something about me is I do like a bit of magical realism in my books. I don't know quite if this is going to be that, but the premise is giving that, but obviously I don't know what direction it's going to take. I'll shut up. Let me tell you what it's about. So 7 strangers get invited to an anonymous dinner party. They're all chatting, they're all getting to know each other, and at the end of the night, 7 envelopes are placed in front of them. And in them envelopes, it says the age of which they're going to die. They all just take it as a silly prank. They're like, that's not really going to happen, is it? Let's be real. Until a couple of weeks later, one of the predictions come true and somebody does die. And then as the years start to go on, the predictions are coming true. So like, is it gonna be a case of like, it's magical realism, or is like somebody murdering them? I don't know. We're gonna have to find out together. And it sounds a bit like Here One Moment by Liane Moriarty actually, but I feel like this is gonna be more thriller. Like I said, that's me speculating. I don't know, speculative fiction. See what I did there? The Christmas Clue by Nicole Upson. I love a Christmas thriller. Like, I don't think there's anything better than like in December reading a Christmas thriller, a holiday thriller for all my American friends. Because in the UK, right, we call when we go like on a plane to go on vacation, we call it a holiday. Like, we don't call like Christmas and things holidays. Guys, the language barrier sometimes, considering we all speak English, like it baffles me. It really does. So it's a Christmas thriller. And it sounds fun. I love a Christmas thriller, like I said, at Christmas time. So this follows a family who think they are all playing like a murder mystery game around Christmas, like think Cluedo, when they start to suspect that they may actually be taking part in a real life murder mystery. Like one of them's going to end up dead. That sounds fun, doesn't it? There's nothing more better than Christmas than a Christmas murder. Oh, we're at that point in the video where I start going a bit delulu. I'm really excited for this one. I am really, really excited for this one. You're going to see a theme in like, I think kind of the books that I like, because the next one is called 59 Minutes by Holly Seddon. If you knew you had 59 minutes left to live, how would you live your life? What would you do in those 59 minutes? Because that's exactly what this book is about. Missiles are about to hit Britain and everybody's told you've got 59 minutes. Do what you've got to do. And we follow 3 women who are trying to get home in time before the missiles hit. And the blurb says that the journey should be simple, but there's criminals on every corner trying to get like the last bit of fun before the world ends. People are getting murdered. Why would you do that when the world's going to end? And there is a missing child. I just feel like it might be like a bit emotional, you know? I feel like, is this one that's going to make me cry? I hope so. I always want a book to make me cry, and like it never happens. I've just got a black heart to go with like the black attire. Okay, the next one, I'm not sure is coming out in 2025, all right? I'm getting conflicting information, but I'm so excited about it. I had to include it in this video because it's called Mad Mabel by Sally Hepworth. I bloody love Sally Hepworth. So Goodreads is telling me that this is coming out on the 30th of September, but then other places are telling me it's not coming out until April 2026. So take what I'm about to tell you with a pinch of salt, and like, even if it's not out till 2026, I'm putting it on your radar. So this follows our main character who has lived on the same street for 60 years, longer than anybody else on the street. But what the residents don't know is that she's got a past that she has worked very, very hard to cover up. Because a lot of people in her life have strange ways that their lives have come to an end. And when a new little girl moves into the neighborhood, she starts getting a bit closer to Mabel, and who she really is maybe starting to come out of the woodwork. This is giving like, I don't know why, but like strange Sally Diamond vibes maybe. Like, you know, because I do think Sally Hepworth is really good at casting characters. Like the way that she makes characters is very similar actually to Liz Nugent. So this is one I'm so excited for. I feel like it's giving the Good Sister vibes by Sally Hepworth. That's one of my favourite books. Loved it. And like I said, I don't actually know when this book's coming out because the internet is lying to me. So if you know, please tell me. This is your little midpoint reminder that if you're not subscribed yet, I would absolutely love it if you could. It means so much to me. I love making these videos and it means so much to me that you want to spend this time with me. So if you love thriller books, please hit the subscribe button. I've just said that to you and now I'm going to speak about another Freida McFadden book. Honestly, that was terrible timing. I did not plan that very well today because Freida McFadden's got another book coming out in October. Honestly, that woman is allegedly using AI to write her books. Don't come for me, I said allegedly. This follows a woman called Casey who lives in the middle of nowhere. She lives in the wilderness when one day a hurricane is about to hit, and then she looks out of her window and she sees a young girl, alone and covered in blood. The girl won't say where she's come from, where the knife in her hand has come from, and Casey needs to get to the bottom of who this girl is and is her life gonna be at risk. Again, Freida McFadden, she will save you from a slump, you know. Like, I will hold my hands up and admit that, like, if I am feeling a bit slumpy. I'll either read a Kindle Unlimited thriller or a Freida McFadden thriller. Don't cancel me. This next one I have got pre-ordered, and it's called The Hitchhikers by Chevy Stevens, and it's coming out on the 7th of October. I've only read one book by Chevy Stevens. It was Still Missing, and I did enjoy that, but I really liked the sound of this one, so I pre-ordered it. So this is set in the 70s, and we are following a couple called Tom and Alice who have done out an RV truck, and they're going to go on a road trip to try and mend their marriage when they come across some hitchhikers named Ocean and Blue, and they need help. They need a ride. So they're like, sure, hop in. I mean, if two people told you their names were Ocean and Blue, I'd be a bit suspicious, wouldn't you? Because their names are not Ocean and Blue. They're lying to them. Their names are Jenny and Simon, and Jenny and Simon have been on a murderous spree. They've been off, leaving blood all behind, and now Tom and Alice are their victims, basically. They're being held captive by Ocean and Blue, Jenny and Simon. Just sounds a bit like high stakes, doesn't it? Like set on the road, set in the 70s. I feel like it's giving good vibes, you know? Kinda. In a thriller book kind of way, good vibes, you know? This is a bit of a weird, exciting one, because it's called Remain, and it's written by Nicholas Sparks, who wrote The Notebook, and M. Shyamalan, who is like one of the world's best horror directors. What a combo. Like, he was the director of The Sixth Sense. Like, he's like, yeah. And this is a paranormal love story. And like, I'm intrigued, which is why I've put this in this list. I think I'm going to wait and see like what like kind of reviews come out of this, because I'm not a big lover of supernatural, but a supernatural love story, I don't know why, guys, but I'm intrigued by this one. I am. Are you? Girl Dinner by Olivia Blake is coming out on the 23rd of October, and I'm going to be real, this caught my attention. Number one, because of the cover. The cover is stunning. And number two, because of the title. Like, Girl Dinner. Girl Dinner. I always say to like Amy when like she's going out like and like I have to sort my own tea out, and I'm always like, it's fine, don't worry about me, I'm gonna have a girl dinner. Love it. So I don't know what genre this is gonna be, to be honest, because like I don't think Olivia Blake like is a thriller author, but it says it's gonna be a darkly fun novel about getting your fill, and wealthy mums and sorority girls participate in a new wellness trend. Is it cult? That's giving cult, isn't it? Yeah, so this is one I might see, like, I might wait for some reviews to come out and see what people think of it before I decide to pick it up and see, like, yeah, is it going to be like a bit like of a satire book? Unsure. If you know, please tell me. That's what I'm supposed to be here for. Reese Witherspoon's writing a bloody book with Harlan Coben. I never saw that one come in. Never saw that one come in. It's called Gone Before Goodbye, and it's coming out on the 23rd of October. And I've seen people reviewing it and giving it really good reviews. But is that because it's Reese Witherspoon? But then Harlan Coben is an amazing thriller author, so... This follows Maggie, who is one of the world's best army combat surgeons, and she is offered the chance to work for a private surgeon working on the most wealthy clients. She's gone from working in the army to being thrown into this like world of like celebrities, money, opulence, fame, and then one of her patients goes missing. And is she a suspect? Has she been set up? It's a bit of a unique premise, that, isn't it? Like, I don't think I've like read a book like with a premise anything close to that. So yeah, I'm intrigued. I do think this is one I'll be picking up, and I think it's going to be huge, isn't it? Because it's Reese Witherspoon and Harlan Coben, like two hugely famous people. But what do you think about celebrity authors? I wonder how much Reese Witherspoon has had like with the writing of it. Did she just give Harlan Coben the plot? I would be really, really intrigued to know. Okay, we're in November. We're getting to the slim pickings. I always find like authors, if they're going to release their books, is like usually like, I'd say October is like the cutoff, but I think September there's quite a lot. October, November, and I don't think anybody publishes a book in December. So we're on the slim pickings now, guys. We're on the final stretch. And the first book I want to speak about is The Haunting of Emily Grace, which is coming out on the 4th of November. So this is described as an eerie suspense novel, which follows a woman that goes to a mansion to kind of escape, and she may or may not potentially get trapped there by a curse. It's paranormal. I say it all the time. I'm not a big lover of paranormal, but sometimes I do like a ghost story going into it, knowing that is what it is, Sometimes I am in the mood for that. The tagline of it is, can she survive a haunted remote manor? This is probably one, again, that I will wait and see like reviews of it come out before deciding if I want to pick it up. Sharon Bolton is coming out with a new book. I like Sharon Bolton. Some of her books I have loved. Like, I rave about The Pact to you guys all the time, but like her last release was called The Fake Wife, I think, and I really didn't like this one. That one. This one's called The Token. So 7 strangers get told that you have just inherited some money from master billionaire who has passed away. You are one of the 7 lucky ones. This is your token. Get on board this cruise and this is how you're going to get your money. Would you get on it? It's given those like emails, isn't it, that you get from people saying like, hi, I've inherited some money. Can I transfer it to you? And you send it back to me and I'll give you 100k for the privilege. That's what is given. Obviously, this cruise is then going to be like not straightforward, is it? There's going to be murders. There's going to be secrets revealed. How are they all going to be connected? You can see where it's going, can't you? But Sharon Bolton, I do think she is like, she's really good at short chapters. Like, so if you want a book with short chapters, that is usually a solid thriller book. This could be one you pick up. I don't think I'll get it when it's in hardback. I think I will wait for this to come out in paperback and probably pick it up. The Burning Grounds by Abir Mukherjee. Now, I've never read a book by Abir Mukherjee. He came to like my attention, I guess, at Harrogate Crime and Thriller Festival because he was one of the authors there. So lovely. What a lovely guy. And he has a detective series that is set in India, which I think is such a cool location for like a thriller book series, a police procedural thriller book series. Now, this is book 6, but they can all be read as standalones. So yeah, you have got that option. And I am obsessed with the cover of this book. Like, I love it. And like a lot of thriller books are like all set, aren't they? Like in like usual locations. So like a book being set in India, I don't think I've ever read a book set in India. What a cool location. So I think this is a series that I'm going to like keep on my radar, and it may be one I look into because it's got such high ratings. Like, people love it. And then the last book I want to speak to you about is not a thriller. It's a cozy fantasy, and it's called Brigands and Bread Knives by Travis Baldry. I think that's what it's called. I think that's how you say it. So this is technically book 3. So the first book was Legends and Lattes. Then the second book was, oh my God, what was it called? I can't remember. I feel like I've blocked it out of my mind because I didn't like the second book, because the second book, I'll put it on screen, was a sequel to the prequel to Legends and Lattes, Bookshops and Bone Dust. I just had to Google it. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Probably because I didn't love that. So Legends and Lattes was the first book. Bookshop and Bone Dust was a prequel to Legends and Lattes, and I think that's why I didn't love it so much, because like I didn't want a prequel, I wanted a sequel. This is book 3, and from looking at the blurb, I still don't think this is a sequel. We're following Fern, who is one of the characters from Bookshops and Bone Dust, so I don't know if I'm going to be picking this up, but I know it's a very well-loved series, so I wanted to include it in this video anyway. We'll see. And that is it, guys. That is the end of this video. Like, the last one of the year. I think it's going to be the last one of the year, unless some like more books get announced or more books come on their radar. I may do like a little follow-up, but I highly doubt it. I feel like most of the books that I've included are the ones that I'm like really excited about, If you do want to watch the other videos in this series, I will link them in the description. I love filming these. I've already started my list for next year. Like, I'm already compiling next year's list, which like, so excited. I hope you found some new books that you maybe didn't know were coming out, some new books on your radar. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you could hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. It literally helps me out so much. So thank you. And I shall see you next time. Bye.